There's so many wonderful points in our gospel today. The first, it's always interesting that the gospel writers say that the crowds were astonished at Jesus because he taught them as one having authority and not as their scribes. Jesus was not authoritarian. He didn't point his finger and say, you must do this, but he spoke with conviction. He spoke from a place of authenticity that caused people to listen to him, and they knew that he was speaking the truth every single time he spoke. And so, in our lives as Christians, we always can trust on the Lord's word whenever we hear the gospel, to know that he wasn't giving his own opinion, he wasn't giving what he thought, he was giving exactly the real deal that came from his Father. He taught as having the real deal. And then he always talks about his Father, the relationship with his Father. He's so close to God the Father, and he always opens the door for us so that we can be close to God the Father too, because just like Jesus, we are all God the Father's children. He made us. He thought of us in his mind from the beginning of time, and Jesus wants us to enter into that relationship with the Father who made us and sustains us in our life. The Lord, he's very much a gentleman, but he's also very direct in what he says. And he's very clear that if we listen to his words and we do what he says, we will have built our house on rock and nothing can knock it down. But if we don't, then it's like we built our house on sand and it will be destroyed. Our house will fall apart. So what exactly does that mean? When we stay close to the gospel, when we stay close to the sacraments, when we stay close to the teachings of Holy Mother Church, we build our house on rock. Nothing can come to destroy it, because everything that came from the Lord, given to his church, is the truth. But when we decide that we're going to pick and choose what we want to do, when we're going to make up our own minds on the rules and regulations that we want to follow, we've built our house on sand, and it will fall apart. And often the way it falls apart is it comes by division. Our lives start to divide. Our families, our friendships, our relationships, they start to divide, and we start to lose them. And we've built our house on sand because things fall apart. But when we have integrity, when we have truth, which is always Jesus, everything remains whole and solid, like a rock. So as we go forth today from this Mass, let us ask the Lord to give us the grace to always stay true to him, to always stay deeply rooted in his love. The month of June is the month of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And so, looking at the Sacred Heart, finding a way to look at an image of the Sacred Heart, let us ask the Lord today to help us to stay rooted in his love, so we can always have our house built on rock and never on sand, so that we can come to our Heavenly Father just as Jesus wants us to.